I hadn't seen my brother Caleb in 10 years, not since the fallout. Not since Dad's funeral, when he stormed out after the will was read and never came back. But then, just after my 35th birthday, I got a message on Facebook from someone using his old high school nickname. Meet me at Mom's house. Midnight. Come alone. It felt like a prank. Caleb hated social media. Hated everything digital. But something in me couldn't ignore it. Not after everything that had happened. I hadn't been back to that house since we sold it 5 years ago. But I drove the 3 hours in silence, the past gnawing at my gut. The porch light was on when I pulled up, odd, considering no one had lived here in half a decade. The front door creaked open with a sound so familiar it hurt. The scent of cedar and old coffee hit me like a ghost. And there he was. Caleb. Leaner, older, but still him. Same fierce eyes. Same way of not blinking when he wanted you to know he wasn't afraid. We didn't speak at first. Just stared. Then he said, "I need you to help me disappear." It turned out Caleb hadn't just left home. He'd walked into a completely new identity. He was married now to a woman I'd never met. Had a daughter. Lived in Oregon under the name Alan Reese. He'd been in deep with some kind of private security firm that did things no one should talk about. Now he was being hunted by them, or someone worse. He wouldn't say. Just that he'd seen things. Done things. Things that made him unfit to stay in that life. But he couldn't leave cleanly. That's where I came in. They want to look for me in the shadow of my brother, he said. You're the only one I trust. At first I laughed. Then I realized he wasn't joking. He wanted me to take over parts of his life temporarily, to be him in places, online, at his old job, even contact his wife. Just long enough for me to fade away, he said. It was insane. But something in his voice, something desperate and broken, got to me. So I agreed. Slowly, I stepped into his life. Learned how he talked. Walked. The jokes he told. I even Skyped with his wife once, pretending I was him from a secure line. And weirdest of all, it felt good. I was finally someone people respected. Someone decisive. Someone worth listening to. But then things started to go wrong. A man showed up at my work, well dressed, polite, but clearly not who he said he was. Asked too many questions. Called me Caleb. Another time, someone hacked my phone. My own girlfriend found emails I never wrote, conversations I never had, from an account tied to Caleb's alias. I confronted him, and he just stared at me. They're closer than I thought, he whispered. We need to accelerate. I pressed him for more, and he finally broke. Caleb had been part of something involving military AI black budget surveillance tech that didn't just predict behavior, it manipulated it. And he'd tried to whistle-blow. The firm erased all evidence. Killed 2 of his co-workers. He went dark before they could reach him. But now, with me playing proxy, they started tracking me. You might not have a choice anymore, he said. You're in it now. They came for us in the middle of the night. Black SUVs. No plates. We ran. Hid in motels, switched burner phones every few hours. Caleb's paranoia was off the charts, but it kept us alive. I started to question everything: who we were running from, what was real. Then I found something in his backpack, a flash drive. Labeled with my name. Not his. Mine. Inside were files. Photos. Video clips. Documents that proved I wasn't just collateral. I had been monitored for years. Ever since high school. Caleb hadn't told me the whole truth. I wasn't just his cover, I was part of the experiment. They had tested the software on me first. Social nudges. Targeted media. Fake job offers. Every major decision I thought I made, college, work, even relationships, had been guided. You were the control group, he admitted. You passed. I didn't. My life wasn't real. Or not entirely. I'd been molded. By them. By him. I wanted to run. But where the world felt like glass now, too clean, too placed. I couldn't trust anyone. Not even my own memories. But one thing kept me grounded, my niece. Caleb's daughter. She was innocent. Untouched. If they found her, they'd do the same thing. We devised a plan, one final move. We de-upload the data. Blow it all open. Burn the program to the ground. We used 3 locations. Public Wi-Fi. Timed uploads. The files went live on every whistleblower platform we could find. Reddit. GitHub. Secure drop. Then we disappeared. Caleb went east. I stayed behind, buried under a new name. The backlash was nuclear. The firm was exposed, though not by name. The government disavowed everything. People whispered. But they knew. The world tilted just slightly. And that was enough. I live quietly now. Teach high school math in Nebraska. Drink too much coffee. Keep a low profile. Sometimes I think about Caleb. We haven't spoken in 6 years. But once a year, on my birthday, I get a card. No return address. Just a note, still watching your 6. I used to think my life was boring. Safe. Ordinary. But the truth is, ordinary is a gift. You only know that once it's stolen. If you're listening to this, know that someone, somewhere, might be shaping your story without you ever knowing. But that doesn't mean you can't break free. I did. And now, I own my story. 3 years after I received what I thought would be the last message from Caleb, I got a visit. Not a letter. Not a phone call. A physical visit. From his daughter. Now a teenager, tall and sharp-eyed like her father. She had questions. She had the drive. And, worst of all, she had a copy of the flash drive. She said she found it tucked in a false bottom of her father's old duffel bag. The encryption was cracked by her. And inside new files. Different from the ones we leaked. These were personal. About me, yes, but also about her, about a second phase of the project, one we never knew existed. They were still out there. I couldn't let her go alone. She reminded me too much of Caleb. Or maybe too much of me. Either way, we started digging. Carefully. Quietly. And what we found, the program didn't die. It just moved. Rebranded. Folded into private data contracts and startup incubators. Hiding in plain sight. My niece wanted to go public. I stopped her at first. But now, maybe she's right. Maybe the only way to finish what Caleb started is to bring it to light again. So I'm recording this. Not because I want to. Because we have to. Because the story doesn't end when the last file is uploaded or the last man runs. The story ends when we stop being afraid. And I'm not afraid anymore.